What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and I'm back with another cool tech episode. And after a whole bunch of releases in September and October, we have a lot of the new products here in the office. Most notably larger products such as smartphones and laptops. And in this case, we have the Macbook Pro M3 in the space black color, as well as the new OnePlus Open. So I feel like it's a very exciting episode because we're heading into holiday season, and that's when all the tech from the year comes together. And in this episode, beyond smartphones and laptops, we also have some cool things such as the Rayban Metas, audio and home products, and also something for the PC gaming lovers out there. As always, if you would like to win an item for this video, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and leave a comment down below with your Instagram username, and we'll be contacting a winner directly in 2 weeks. But without further ado, we have a lot to cover, so let's just go ahead and get started. So this right here is the OnePlus Open. It is a folding phone that is available in North America from OnePlus for the very first time. And some of the things that I really like about the hardware is that it has a good element of boxy design, perfectly shaped, rounded edges, and at the same time, you can utilize the front screen very effectively. But of course, as soon as you flip it open, it is a full-fledged phone that lets you take advantage of the entire screen here. And it also has a very minimal crease. This is something that Oppo and OnePlus have been working on for so many years now. And when it comes to the screen itself, I think it is really complete. The colors are great. And on the spec side of things, it also has the best of the best, including the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 with the Adreno 740 GPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and 512 gigs of storage, paired with a 4800 milliamp hour battery. And on the camera side of things, it features the triple camera setup in collaboration with Hasselblad, including a 48 megapixel f1.7 main camera, 64 megapixel 70 millimeter telephoto camera, as well as a 48 megapixel 14 millimeter ultra wide cam. And I personally really like the black one. It's also available in an emerald green, but I think the black one with the leather back, the metal edges just looks so amazing. And it's honestly one of the best looking and using smartphones that I've seen in terms of the folding category. So the next product right here is the Rayban Meta Wayfarer glasses, and they feature a camera on it. I actually checked out the initial model of the Rayban collaboration, and they were okay. The image quality wasn't anything impressive, but it was still a fun tech toy that was similar to something that I checked out way back in the day, which is the Snapchat Spectacles. But this new and improved model builds upon that initial generation, and it features the classic Wayfarer design with an ultra-wide 12 megapixel camera and a 5 mic system for high quality capture and immersiveness. The image quality is definitely quite decent, especially in regular lighting scenarios, but for just how small it is, I just love the way that it is designed. It is super light, and it's really good for travel or casual content that is often posted to social media. You just put on the glasses, and with the commands, you're able to record and have it sync directly to your smartphone, and that is the best part about it. And it features 32 gigabytes of internal storage that gives you up to 500 photos or 50-60-second videos. The battery life is up to 4 hours on a single charge, and with the case, it gives you up to 32 hours. But I just love how simple it looks. I mean, let's just go ahead and put these on right now. It just looks like any pair of Wayfarer glasses. So if you're walking around, super easy to just start capturing moments live. And I also love the way that the case looks. It includes a charging case that looks pretty minimal, but there's actually a charging indicator on the front that is built into this little button, and it charges via USB Type-C. And this look just goes with the rest of my EDC lately, which has been cognac leather, green, and also silver. So another product that arrived in the office this month is the MacBook Pro M3. And if you already have a previous generation of MacBook Pro with the new generation design, then you definitely don't need to upgrade every single year. But if you're looking for an upgrade or have the M1 model, then this year is a really good one, especially if you want to get it in this new space black color. It has a special coating and process to it that could mean nothing, but in real use scenario, after taking this around for a week, you could say that my computer actually stayed relatively clean, and you really get to enjoy the elements of a dark gunmetal look that looks different in different scenarios. So I actually have the 14-inch model here, and it features the M3 Max processor, and you can spec it up to 128 gigs of unified RAM compared to 96 gigabytes previously on a MacBook Pro. The M3 Max one that I have right here features up to a 16-core CPU and up to a 40-core GPU. For most people, even if you're a prosumer and someone who utilizes the computer relatively intensively, I would say the Pro model is usually going to be enough, especially if you upgrade the unified memory. But in this year's generation, the Pro model doesn't have as big of an upgrade, and it seems like Apple wanted to create a bit more disparity in their lineup. And so if you go ahead and upgrade to the highest end M3 Max, then that is where you're gonna see large performance improvements. But I found that coming from last year's maxed out M2 Max with 96 gigabytes of unified memory to this year's M3 Max with 64 gigs of unified memory, it is about the same in terms of performance. There hasn't really been any major jumps there, and that isn't because this year's generation didn't have a major improvement, but more so the fact that last year's computer was already more powerful than anything I really needed on the road, even when it came to video editing. So the next product right here is the Loftie alarm clock, and I thought it was a really good looking alarm clock as is, but it wasn't until I found out about the functionality that I figured that it actually fits into this video pretty nicely. It is a two-phase alarm clock that is designed for better sleep, and it includes white noise, nature soundscapes, and also wellness content such as breathwork and guided meditations, but I also like the adjustable nightlight that gives it a warm glow. That is specifically my favorite features of it because it has this nice translucent polycarbonate shell and steel top grille that is very high quality, well designed, but the way that the light glows is just very subtle, and before I go to bed I usually like to have a bit of like a night light when I'm just unwinding before I actually go ahead and fall asleep. It also has a customizable alarm tone and volume settings, and the adjustability of the nightlight allows you to go ahead and pick the brightness and tone of it. It is just a very minimal product that can sit next to your nightstand, and at the price point of $150, I do think it is a bit steep for what it is, but if you're looking for the best overall alarm clock, then this is one to check out. So one of my favorite things to film on the channel is cars. You guys know I personally love cars, we love covering them, and there's a whole variety of cars that we've checked out over the past few years. But one of the most important things that you can pick up for your car is the best dash cam possible. And here we have some products from 70mi, including their brand new 360 Dashcam Omni, which is actually the first 360-degree dash cam on the market. Whenever it comes to getting accessories for your car, one of the most important things is being able to protect it, whether it's in a case of like an accident or an incident, and having that proof on camera. So I want to give a huge thanks to 70mi for sponsoring this video. The Dashcam Omni is their new product that features a 340-degree swivel design and a 140-degree field of view. So whenever you're driving in the streets, you know that you're able to ensure that all of that stuff is being captured effectively. And when parked and in surveillance mode, the Dashcam is equipped with AI motion and collision detection that can automatically detect when people are approaching and when a collision has occurred and follow them around. It features a 1080p full HD resolution at up to 60 frames per second, and it's able to capture great low light as well, thanks to the f1.5 aperture. The other dashcam that is a bit more traditional is the 70mi Dashcam A500S. It is their best-selling dashcam, and it features a 2-inch IPS display. It installs very easily on the front of your car, and it's very minimal, but having that display gives you the live view, but also controlling things from the actual dashcam itself is very convenient, and it features dual channel recording with the RC06 rear camera. So you can go ahead and place one in the rear and on the front, and you're covered on all dimensions. The best part about both these dash cams is that they have amazing apps to back it up. They're very minimal, and you can install them in any car and ensure that you're always protected and everything is recorded while being able to save that history on your app. It literally is the best accessory that you can go ahead and pick up for your car, and it is on sale right now, so I'm going to drop a link down in the description section below. So if there's a company that has a lot of experience in audio products, it is Sony. And in this case, this is the Sony AX7 dual speaker. They've really focused on 360-degree immersive audio throughout the entire lineup, and we've seen a lot of that. And that has been brought over to a consumer speaker that is a very specific experience, but a very unique approach that I've never seen before. It's a 360-degree spatial sound mapping speaker that immerses you by placing phantom speakers all around. And the way that it works is that you actually have the two front speakers as well as two passive radiators on the side, and you go ahead and say you're sitting on your bed or in your office, you have the main speaker in one spot, but then you go ahead and place the pods in different areas of the room. It will actually work with them all together to be able to give you that very immersive experience. And that is similar to what I've seen with like the rear speaker setups of their home theater options as well. It is definitely an interesting product for sure, but I think it has that hybrid element to it that makes the $500 price point worth it because it is a good portable and home speaker. So if you want to take this on the road and just like separate the pods to different areas and create that immersive experience, or if you're sitting at home, you can do that. But you can also just have it sitting in a certain area and playing music casually, and it is able to deliver a pretty good amount of room-filling power. So even though it is unique, it looks kind of odd, I think it is a really innovative product that is not only trying to emulate the 360-degree sound, but does so in a physical matter by having those additional pods that allow you to move them around in any room or space. So the next product right here is the Shokz Open Fit Open Ear Design Truly Wireless Earbud. This is a category that we've checked out a lot of, and I absolutely love it because it is great for lifestyle usage, allowing you to have the maximum comfort, pretty good sound quality, but also being able to still surround yourself in the environment, such as just walking around, because it's not in every scenario where you want to have the truly noise canceling feeling that you might want on a plane, for example. You can get up to 28 hours of listening in total, and with the earbuds themselves, you get about 7 hours of continuous usage, which is really impressive. It also features IP54 water resistance rating, which means it is really good for anyone who is running outside. And I think this is specifically for anyone who is looking for a good lifestyle day-to-day earbud that is truly wireless and very comfortable, but also for working out. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I'm going to drop a link down below. And a huge thanks to Shokz once again for sponsoring this video. So something that was always a lot of fun on the channel was building a custom gaming PC. And in the past few years, we built some pretty crazy ones, and this right here is the Antec Performance 1 full tower PC case. It is a very sleek and minimal design that has a full metal construction, glass sides to be able to appreciate all of your parts in the computer, and it is just very well refined while having different elements of textures and slatting that is not only stylish but also very aerodynamically focused. One of the most unique features is that it has a temperature display that has the CPU and the GPU temperature on the top, and so you're always able to check the gauges of how your computer is doing from a thermal standpoint, which is one of the most important things with any PC build. And especially with a full-size case, there is plenty of room for this computer to breathe, and the built-in triple fan setup on the front with one on the back as well is all pre-installed, which is awesome. I also love the fact that the inside has all of the cable management thought of, so when you go ahead and set up your computer, you're able to divide and organize everything very easily, which is one of the most important traits of any gaming PC case. With this amount of space, it supports an RTX 40 series graphics cards, and it can accommodate two 360mm radiators. It comes in at a price of $150, and I really like the white one personally, but if you're looking for like an all black setup, which I've done in the past before, then that one looks amazing as well. So I'm gonna drop a link down below if you guys wanna go ahead and check that out. So for anyone on the Windows side, I know I haven't featured a productivity computer in quite a while, but it's nice to be able to come back and check out the Microsoft lineup and some of the new releases for this year. So here I have the Microsoft Surface Go 3, and I actually checked out the original model of the Surface Go, and I always just found it to be a very cute and small laptop to bring everywhere, and I love Microsoft's hardware, especially in this light green color. It is just very subtle, and as you open it up, it has a 12.4-inch display with a 3:2 aspect ratio and a 60 Hz refresh rate. It features a 12th generation i5 1235U processor with 8 or 16 gigs of RAM, and it's available in 4 different colors, and this one right here is Sage. I would say when it comes to a hardware standpoint, it is really nice to type on, and the computer is a very compact and perfect size that is even smaller than a traditional 13-inch laptop. I love that it has like the edges to it, and you can utilize the touch screen or the trackpad, but it is a computer that I would say is built for people who are doing basic productivity work or mostly web browsing. It definitely isn't the most powerful setup out there, and it comes in at a price point starting at about $800. So it really comes down to the specific use case. I would also say the display is not the brightest, but I love the hardware of these computers, and so for any specific user who doesn't want to use a tablet, for example, and wants to have the ergonomic experience of a laptop, but may not need a ton of power and really values portability and great battery life, then the Surface Go 3 is something that you might want to check out. This right here though is the Microsoft Surface Laptop Studio 2, and it is absolutely massive. Just take a look at how thick it is. Right here, it actually has a few different ergonomic functions to it and uses that could make sense, or it's just too much weight to carry around, but I was actually pretty surprised. And once again, just like the rest of the Microsoft lineup, the hardware actually looks really, really good, and I love it, but it is the most powerful Surface laptop that is an all-in-one system. It features a 14.4-inch pixel sense display that has a 120Hz refresh rate and up to an i7-13800H processor and an RTX 4060. So being able to have dedicated graphics with that latest generation of processor really allows you to do stuff such as graphic design work, heavy coding, and also video editing. But you flip it open here and it might look like a traditional laptop, but you can also flip the screen a certain way to actually use it as a tablet or a presentation deck. So there you have it. I think it actually looks really good in this setting as well, but the reason why it is so thick is that it is almost like a hybrid between a gaming computer size and a productivity computer size. And what you get is right in the middle here, where the computer might look thin around the edges, but it actually has like an extended platform to it on the bottom. But I do feel like the hardware is still very well executed with the way that the display is able to hinge. And I think for anyone who's looking for something specifically focused on power and productivity, then this is definitely something that you want to consider, but it comes in at a price point of $2,000 and up. There's one specific electric car that I've been wanting to check out for the last couple years, and that is the Lucid Air line. As someone who has checked out a lot of electric cars in the past couple of years specifically, this is one that is just a little bit different. It has all of the different features of speed, range, as well as a unique design. But of course, the UI and the interiors are aspects that I also had many questions about. It features over 800 kilometers in overall range, as well as over 800 horsepower. And you can also upgrade to the Lucid Air Grand Touring Performance. And there's also, of course, the Sapphire, which is the fastest electric car on the market that you can buy. The Lucid Air Grand Touring, though, I think balances the range and the power really effectively, and the one that I have behind me has a 0 to 60 speed of 3.2 seconds, but I think the fact that it's able to offer that power while also giving you that impressive range is what makes it an incredible combination. The car itself is pretty much the same size as a Tesla Model S, and if you look into the history of the company, there's a lot of talks about the different engineers and the different players that have come from Tesla to build a project of their own. So of course there are going to be some similarities and also differences and improvements that they wanted to integrate in their own project. Looking at the outside though, I'll say that after driving this car around, it has gathered so much attention, especially from the older crowd. It's a very classy looking car that has great lines, but a very imposing front, to the point where it almost looks extremely wide. But compared to the dimensions of other electric cars and its competitors, it is actually extremely aerodynamic and honestly one of the most aerodynamic cars on the market. The Lucid has a drag coefficient of 0.197. You take a look at how the lines kind of move across, and even though it looks like a very large vehicle with quite a bit of cargo and a ton of interior space, as you're going to see, the Lucid Air really goes along with the exterior design where it has elements of simplicity and sophistication, but generally speaking, it is a relatively muted design. And the first thing that I noticed when I came into the car is that it really only took a few minutes to get familiar with where everything was. It is a very touchscreen driven experience with a 34-inch display that is a 5K resolution here, as well as a main control panel in the middle that gives you all the access to the drive modes, the steering wheel, and the mirror adjustment, as well as the trunks and everything. And you also have to control the climate along with the physical buttons over here, a main volume switch, and your settings. There are elements of Formula E technology that have been implemented in this road vehicle, and the way the front scoops with the lights at night looks amazing. And it also has small cutouts on the side here that channel airflow through the wheels. Even with that, the design on the side has these 21-inch wheels that look great and over 30 sensors throughout the entire vehicle that contribute to the camera as well as the drive technology. But as you make your way around the back, the trunk also opens in a pretty unique way, while also giving you the option to open up the front and utilize that as a trunk as well. That was one of my biggest complaints on some electric cars, that don't let you take advantage of the wide amount of front space to have additional storage. So when it comes to my experience of the Lucid Air, I would say it was really the fastest electric car that I've driven to date. It balances elements of simplistic tech with bespoke details without going overboard, and I would say the minimal experience of the interior is something that you're gonna love or hate. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, drop a like in this video, and leave a comment down below if you have any specific favorites and things that you think we should check out in the next Cool Tech episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.